Okay, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube Daily Double. Today we're finishing the fifth parak of Eiruvin. We're starting the sixth parak. Mishnah Ted in parak Hey. Amar lehen Rabbi Akiva. Yeta modim libinosan Eruva v'mara she'en lam kol Eruva el alpay mama. We had a machlokas yesterday at the end of Mishnah Ches between Rabbi Akiva and the Chachamim. Chachamim say that if you're in a small city and you placed your Eruv in a big city, right, you get the entire city, the big city, and you get, right, if you're within 2,000 amos, small cities within 2,000 amos of the big city, you get outside the big city also 2,000 amos. Rabbi Akiva says, no, it doesn't make a difference. If you're a small city, you only get 2,000 amos, and where it stops in the big city, that's the end of your 2,000 amos, even in the middle of the big city. This is a little different than what I said yesterday. I said yesterday, it was a mistake I said yesterday, that in the case of Yerkatan, you get the entire big city. It seems from the Mefarshim you only get until the Makom of the Eruv. But Rabbi Akiva says to them, don't you agree to me if you put your Eruv in a cave, you only get 2,000 amos. Amrulo, even though that's a place like a city, right? Because people can stay in a cave. Amrulo, emasai. So the Rabbanan said to him, well, you're right, halfway. Bisman she'ein ba tiyurin. Now, aim by diurans mean there's actually people living there. There's most people that live in caves, but it has walls where people could technically live in it. It's like a city. Aval yesh ba diurin. It is possible to inhabit. It has walls. Mahalachas kulo chusal alpayim ama. Then if you would put your Eruv there, it's like putting your Eruv in the big city, and therefore you can walk the entire city. Nimsa kal tocha me'al gaba. So even the Rabbanan admit that inside, as long as it has walls, it's treated like a city. If you put your Eruv there, you get outside of 2,000 amos, meaning if you can get to the Mara within 2,000 amos, then you get extended from the Mara another 2,000 amos. Because the Mara, with your Eruv there, is viewed as your Dalan amos. But on top of the cave, there's no walls over there, so then obviously you only get 2,000 amos. Meaning you only get, if the Mara was within 2,000 amos, you can only walk. Mara was 1,700 amos away, so you get 1,700 and only 300 outside. It's about 2,000 outside the Mara. Lamodei sha'amru nosin la'alpayim sha'afilu sof midaso kal v'mara. So the Chavim are moda over here. That if you didn't put your Eruv in the cave, the cave had walls, you didn't put your Eruv in the cave. You put your Eruv within, let's say, 1,900 amos of the cave, and it ended in the cave, right? And it was a big cave, it was a 200 amos cave. So you only get 100 amos of that cave, because they only agree when you put your Eruv in the cave that if it makes your makom shvisa, your makom of residence, and you get 2,000 amos outside of it. But if your Eruv is 2,000 amos away to go to the cave, that's like an Ir Ketana going to an Ir Gedola over there, and you only get to the point in the Ir Gedola where your 2,000 amos ends. That's the conclusion of the fifth parak. Let's start the sixth parak. Hadar Paragov Mishnah Aleph. Hadar Manachri b'Chatzar. Let's say you live with a Nachri, a non-Jewish person in Chatzar. He's in your city or in your group of houses. Or someone who doesn't agree to the concept of Eruv. Now, what exactly this person is, the Rabbi Yavartanura says is a kusi. We'll talk more about a kusi in Ian Mitzvah. What exactly a kusi is. Generally, a kusi is considered, it doesn't exist anymore. Kusim were people that in the time of who was the king? Sancheiriv, that they converted because of fear of they might get lions unleashed on them. So the question is whether they converted fully or not converted fully. Gary Emes or Gary Arios, whether it was a complete conversion or not. It's a machlokes in the Rishonim, do we paskin they were actually Jews or not Jews? But here also, even if you consider them to be Jewish, they're considered someone who's mavatal and Eruv, right? Hareza Oser Allah. So if you have a non-Jewish person in your city, and right, they aser. He says a Nachri doesn't aser. Everyone agrees a Nachri, his dira is not considered a dira. The question is whether you have, even Rebbe Lezer's moda, if you have two non-Jews in your city, then it is a problem. The problem is you can't make an Eruv together with two non-Jews. Now, it's not Midor, right? It's not Midor Rabbanan, not really part of the Gzer. It's a Gzer Rabbanan. They didn't want non-Jewish people to live next to Jewish people because the Gemara says that Goyim are chasher al shvichas damim, they can kill you. So according to the Tanakama, right, even one Nachri prevents you from making an Eruv in your city because they didn't want you to live with Nachri, so you live in a place only Jewish. And according to Lezer, only Israel, if he doesn't participate in Eruv, he asks on the rest of the community. At least his residence is asked to go in and out of, but only if you have two non-Jews, then they ask her. He agrees, then there goes there in case of two Jews, because one non-Jewish person is not so much of a chshad that they're going to do shvichas dam. Only two people, That's basically why the Gemara explains Machlokas. Stay tuned for Yom Tzion when I explain. I understand a Nakri Askashal Shrichatam. What about Eno Modeh Be'erav? The Gemara says a Kusi. There's actually a couple of Mefarshim that say it's not just a Kusi. Seduki Api Koresh, Shekol from B'Torah Shal Peh, Ki Erei Chaser as Gudom. It's not just a Kusi. It includes also a Tzduki, meaning people that didn't believe in the Torah Shal Peh. You don't believe in the Torah Shal Peh. You're also considered someone who's like a Nachri, is right. So it's a machlok, and a lot of mafarshim whether someone who's not bikoris, we understand not bikoris, that he doesn't believe in Torah Misina, Torah Shabbal Peh, is he like a Nachri or is he not like a Nachri? We'll talk about that in Yom Tzion coming up next.